next Bitcoins. If you're a Bitcoin fan, don't worry. I'm not talking about things that will replace Bitcoin. Rather, what I'm going to cover today is a short list of cryptocurrencies that have the best potential to collectively create greater wealth for investors than Bitcoin ever has, or probably ever will. That's a lot of wealth, more than most people can imagine. If you had invested a meager $100 when Bitcoin first traded publicly, and you simply held it through the ups and downs, you'd have more than $79 million today. Actually, $79,704,900 to be exact. More than $79 million starting with just $100. Can that feat really be repeated? Could you invest $100 right now and again turn it into tens of millions of dollars? In Bitcoin? No. Back in the early days, Bitcoin was still a small experimental asset, much like a penny stock. And obviously, that's not the case today. Today, Bitcoin is a much more mature asset. It has already surpassed $1 trillion in market cap. It has already created countless Bitcoin millionaires and even Bitcoin billionaires. But if you miss that opportunity, don't let that bother you. With the cryptos I'll be telling you about today, you can still get in on the ground floor. You're not too late to the party. Yes, you can still make a lot of money in Bitcoin, but for the opportunity to build the kind of monumental wealth that early Bitcoin investors have created for themselves, you need to look beyond Bitcoin to the 6 cryptos I'll tell you about today. You need to take a deep dive into a sector of the crypto world that very few people have ever heard of. I call it the greatest money revolution of all time. That's not an overstatement. Some might even say it's an understatement, because the little-known cryptos I name in a moment are beginning to thoroughly revolutionize the largest industry on earth, banking and finance. They are creating a new, absolutely transformative sector of the crypto world called decentralized finance, or DeFi for short. It's an entirely new kind of financial system that cuts out the middleman, that lets people borrow and lend money directly from each other, that lets people buy and sell stocks directly from each other, all peer-to-peer, all without traditional banks, without traditional brokers, even without stock exchanges. And here's the part I like the best. Without the big central banks of the world debasing the currency that our assets are denominated in. Billionaire Mark Cuban says banks should be scared of this great revolution. Brian Brooks, former U.S. comptroller of the currency, says it is one of the great forces reshaping financial services. Why? Because this new world of DeFi and the cryptos I'll name for you today, they've already laid the groundwork for transforming nearly our entire world from a centralized system controlled by the elites into a decentralized system controlled by billions of users. Ironically, this story is not about Bitcoin, except for one thing. Bitcoin was the pioneer. Bitcoin was the trailblazer in the ultra-secure, ultra-private technology that has made all this possible. Blockchain. But the potential for decentralized finance, DeFi, is ultimately much bigger than Bitcoin's. Just look at the numbers. The total assets in the financial system today add up to more than $400 trillion. That's more than enormous. It's 20 times bigger than the entire GDP of the United States. You know, many months ago, we said that this new financial system, decentralized finance, would someday begin to replace a larger and larger share of that $400 trillion monster. But that was then. Now, we have abundant evidence that decentralized finance is already replacing a growing share of that $400 trillion monster. According to DeFi Pulse, a website which tracks this sector of the crypto world, back in 2020, decentralized finance had less than $1 billion in assets. Now it's close to $100 billion in assets. It has grown more than 100-fold in that short period of time. But remember, the traditional financial system has $400 trillion in assets. So it's still about 4,000 times larger than decentralized finance. If decentralized finance can compete with or replace just 10% of traditional finance, it will have grown 400 times. And it will be 40 times larger than Bitcoin is today. That's why the opportunities we're going to spell out here today are so amazing. There's just so much more room for growth. And that's why I want to focus today on not just one, but 3 different methods to make money from this explosive transformation. First, let me give you a quick preview of each. Then I'll delve into the details of each one, including one absolutely wild situation that recently gave early investors the opportunity for 125,000% returns in just a few months. And I'll give you 5 simple steps you can take today to get started almost immediately. Here's a quick overview of the 3 ways to buy into this great money revolution. Method number 1 for making money in decentralized finance, DeFi, is simply to own the cryptocurrency that provides the infrastructure, the basic building blocks, without which this amazing new world of DeFi would not be possible today. This cryptocurrency is easy to buy, and the profit potential is about 3 times better than Bitcoin. I'll name it for you in just a moment. Method number 2 is to own 3 smaller cryptos I'll tell you about in a moment that are already proven leaders in the world of DeFi. They're also easy to buy, and their profit potential is many times larger than the dominant coins in the world today. Method number 3 is the most intriguing of all. I'm talking about the rare, undiscovered cryptos that are still virtually unknown and that are not so easy to buy. You might ask, if it's not so easy to buy, why bother? Well, that, my friend, is precisely why the potential profits in those cryptos are so mind-boggling. You see, it's precisely because they're hidden and not as easy to buy that most people don't even know they exist. And it's precisely because most people don't know they exist that you can buy them so cheaply, supersizing the profits you could make. So much so that we have a team of expert analysts here at Weiss Ratings that devotes nearly their entire time exclusively to finding these unknown, undiscovered cryptos. And one of the main reasons I'm here today is to help make it easier for you to buy them with some step-by-step guidance, so you can have the opportunity to own them before virtually all other investors even learn about them. In some ways, you might say this buying method, this backdoor buying method we're going to show you, is like buying the next Facebook before its IPO. If you bought Facebook right after its IPO, you could have walked away with a gain of about 845%. But Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, walked away with a gain of nearly 200,000%. He turned a $500,000 investment into a staggering $1 billion. That was possible because Thiel is an industry insider and an accredited investor, which let him scoop up Facebook shares long before it was listed on the NASDAQ. Trouble is, investing this way in companies is not possible for most people. But something like this is open to regular folks in the crypto world, provided you know how. It's a perfectly legal, perfectly reasonable backdoor method for buying cryptos. A method that can give nearly anyone the chance to claim a return the size of Peter Thiel's. You don't need to be an accredited investor. You don't need to be an industry insider. And you don't need to get involved with options, futures, margin accounts, or investments of unlimited risk of any kind. So, now let me tell you exactly what to do in order to use all three of these methods, including the names of three cryptos you can buy immediately. The first opportunity is to buy that cryptocurrency which represents the primary infrastructure of the DeFi world. Actually, it supports 90% or more of all the DeFi assets and transactions. In crypto bull markets, this cryptocurrency has a pretty consistent history of rising about 3 times faster than Bitcoin. And right now, it's going up so fast precisely because of its essential role in decentralized finance, the sector of the crypto world that's growing with lightning speed. This crypto, which I'll name in a sec, is best described as the paramount world computer, a mega network of individual computers with a database that's shared or shareable by millions of users all over the globe. It supports thousands of different computer applications that are not controlled by any centralized company or any centralized organization, that are called decentralized applications, or dApps. And almost the entire world of decentralized finance, the massively big opportunity we're talking about today, lives on this network, this blockchain network. That's the main reason the cryptocurrency of this network has surged so dramatically in value. And it's also the main reason we think it's still grossly undervalued. The second opportunity is in the smaller DeFi coins, which have several times more profit potential, and I'll also name a couple here today in just a moment. But first, let me ask you this. Do you have an account on a major crypto exchange, such as Coinbase, Kraken, or Gemini? Is that how you buy cryptocurrencies? If so, even if you're making a lot of money, you're probably leaving most of your profit potential on the table. For example, let's go back to July 9, 2020. If you logged onto your account at a major US-based crypto exchange, you could have bought a leading DeFi cryptocurrency called Synthetix, symbol SNX, and you could have paid less than $3 per coin, $2.82 to be exact. Within about 6 months, Synthetix rose to $26.50, so you could have made more than 9 times your money. That's darn good. Around the same time, you could have also bought another star in the DeFi world for $2.21, and you could have watched it soar all the way to $27.50, more than 12 times your money. Or consider Yearn.finance, symbol YFI. On August 10, 2020, you could have bought YFI on Coinbase for $4,106. Then, just 33 days later, it reached a peak closing price of $43,338. That's a 955% gain. I don't think anyone would complain about a 955% gain in just 33 days. But in each of these 3 examples, the starting price I cited was the first day of trading on a major exchange, like Coinbase, Kraken, or Gemini. Buying them at that moment in time was kind of like buying Facebook after its IPO. You could have made much more money if you had bought them using our backdoor early bird buying method. This method involves several more clicks of your mouse, several more steps, but it has many times more profit potential. Trouble is, if you log onto your regular exchange account right now, you wouldn't even see the rare cryptos that we've uncovered. And yet, these are the ones we think have the best chance of becoming the next leaders of the fast-growing DeFi world. And with our early bird buying method, you can buy these cryptos. You can buy them at a fraction of the cost that most other investors will pay. Let's say other investors wait to buy until the crypto is listed on Coinbase or Gemini or Kraken. And let's say you buy it with our early bird method. How much less do you think you could get it for? Well, the answer is you could pay 80% less. I know that sounds like a huge amount, but it's true. For every dollar others might wind up paying later, you'd pay just 20 cents. Sometimes you could pay just 10 cents on the dollar, maybe even just 1 cent on the dollar. Let me show you 3 actual examples using the very same 3 cryptos we just reviewed. First, Synthetix. Like I said, on July 9, 2020, you could have bought Synthetix when it was first listed on a major exchange like Coinbase, and you could have paid $2.82 per coin. Then it surged to $26.50 per coin. That was the ninefold gain I told you about. But if you had used our early bird buying method, you could have bought Synthetix much earlier. Instead of paying $2.82, you could have bought it for just 48 cents. That's an 82% discount off what other investors later paid. So instead of multiplying your money by merely 9 times, you could have multiplied your money by over 55 times. I repeat, a 55-fold gain instead of a 9-fold gain. And Synthetix wasn't an anomaly. The advantage of using our backdoor buying method for our second example, the second star of the DeFi world, was even greater. Remember, when it first appeared on Coinbase, you could have bought it for $2.21 and watched it surge to $27.50, right? So buying it the regular way, as I said, you could have made more than 12 times your money. Not bad. But with the early bird buying method, instead of paying $2.21, you could have paid just 22 cents. 22 cents instead of $2.21. That's more than 90% less. So instead of making about 12 times your money, you could have made 125 times your money. And look at Yearn.Finance, YFI, the biggest winner of all in this group. Remember what I said? The first day it was listed on a major exchange was August 10, 2020. Its price on that day was $4,106. Then, 33 days later, that's when you could have sold it for $43,338, a gain of 955%. But if you had bought it with our early bird backdoor buying method, you could have paid just $35. That's 99% less. So instead of a 955% gain, you'd have a gain of 125,336%. In other words, instead of making about 10 times your money, you'd be looking at a gain of approximately 1,250 times your money. If you could make just 1/10 of that, you'd still be looking at the potential for major fortunes from a small initial investment and possibly in a very short period of time. So at this point, you're probably wondering, what about the risk? Well, it's similar to buying a startup. If you don't know what you're doing, you could buy 10 of them and wind up with 10 laggards or even 10 losers. But if you know what you're doing, yes, you could still expect some losers, but you could also have a few big winners. And you'd have a far better chance of at least 1 or 2, giving you the kind of blowout profit potential we just talked about. 50-fold gains, maybe even 100-fold gains. Sound hard to believe? Then just check out this example of a crypto that our lead crypto expert, Juan Villaverde, recommended to investors in our monthly newsletter. It was Cardano, and he recommended it on November 27th, 2019. At the time, the vast majority of investors had no idea what Cardano was all about. Most didn't even know of its existence. But Juan said it was likely to be a shining star in the crypto world of the future, especially as a tool or even a replacement for those people that control the financial world today, including central banks. If you followed Juan's recommendation, you could have bought Cardano for less than a meager 4 cents. It then surged to $2.13 and counting. That's a gain of 5,376% with more to come. In other words, you could have multiplied your money by over 50 times, at least. Just $1,000 invested turned into over $54,000. And guess what? When Juan recommended Cardano, it was already listed on major exchanges. If you could have bought Cardano before it was listed, you could have made many, many times more. Is this kind of opportunity for your keep-safe funds? Is it for all of your money? Of course not. But the thing is, you don't have to invest very much money. All you need is an investment of a few $100s to get started. And if we're right about the opportunity, it could still make a significant difference in your life. Now, no one can predict the future with precision, but our cryptocurrency experts study global capital flows that are occurring right now in the present time frame. And right now, we see money rushing into this fast-growing sector of decentralized finance in 2 ways. First, we see a lot of new money flowing into the crypto world from the outside, from big companies like Tesla and Visa, from big banks and hedge funds. Second, we see a lot of money rushing into decentralized finance from inside the crypto universe, from inside the crypto world. Bitcoin owners moving into the DeFi sector, Ethereum owners moving into the DeFi sector, and more. The result is a massive repricing of cryptocurrencies. In other words, we see the DeFi cryptos going up a lot faster than Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies. Consider the Cardano example I just mentioned a moment ago. As I said, Juan recommended it on November 27, 2019. And if you had acted on his signal, you could have seen a gain of 5,376% and counting. Suppose you had bought Bitcoin on that same day? Well, sure. You could have still made a lot of money. You could have still seen a gain of 462%. Not bad, right? But with Cardano, you could have made 12 times more. And as I said, that's even without using our early bird backdoor buying method. Or compare Bitcoin to Yearn.finance, which I told you about. On July 18, 2020, when Yearn.finance, YFI, first traded, it was worth less than 0.0038 Bitcoin. On September 13, 2020, YFI was worth 4.2 Bitcoin, or 1,100 times more. This just brings home, again, my point that the DeFi world is truly a sleeping giant. Before DeFi, I never would have said that you can invest just a few $100s today and have the same kind of potential that early Bitcoin investors enjoyed. But since the emergence of DeFi, I've come to believe that this is now possible. Not for long, though. Soon the word will get out. And when that happens, you're bound to see a much bigger flood of money gushing into DeFi. Perhaps one of the biggest money flows we've ever seen in the crypto world. Why are so many investors attracted to DeFi? A key reason can be summed up in one simple 5-letter word: yield. All over the world, millions of investors are starving for yield. And not just investors, average savers and workers, anyone with a bank account. The numbers are enormous. According to the World Bank, about 2/3 of the world's adult population has an account with a bank or a mobile money provider. That's 3.8 billion people, or 11 times the entire population of the United States. And look at the bum deal they're getting. For the hard-earned savings they've got on deposit, they're getting practically zero yield. According to Bankrate.com, the average yield you can get in the United States on a one-year bank CD is 0.17%. So if you invest $10,000, all you get is a meager $17, barely enough for a taxi ride home. And that's after locking it up for a full year, mind you. But for the money people borrow on their credit cards, they're still getting charged more than 20%. So when they deposit $10,000, they get $17. But when they borrow $10,000, they pay $2,000? What a ripoff! It just goes to show the massive pent-up demand for a financial system that cuts out the middleman, that gives people a decent yield, that doesn't charge them indecent interest. It's huge pent-up demand, not just from millions of people, but from billions of people. Right now, depositors in the DeFi world are earning at least 20 times more than folks are earning on a typical bank CD. So once people learn about this, they're going to flock to DeFi in massive numbers. So you might ask, how does an income investor or a saver using these crypto platforms avoid the price risk? Aren't cryptocurrency prices very volatile? Yes, most cryptos are very volatile. And that's why income investors use what's called stable coins, digital assets that are pegged one-to-one to a major fiat currency like the US dollar. Think of it like holding crypto dollars. Then you deposit your crypto dollars on a platform that acts as a lender, that earns interest and pays that interest back to you. This yearning for yield, this huge pent-up demand for a decent rate of interest is the most powerful force in the financial world today. And it's creating a surge in the value of DeFi coins like no other price surge I've ever seen in the 50 years since I began my research and ratings company. Yet everything I've told you so far is just the beginning of what could be the single greatest opportunity since the launch of Bitcoin itself. That's saying a heck of a lot, because as I told you, a lot of money has been made in Bitcoin. Just consider the history of my company, Weiss Ratings. About a decade ago, a Weiss executive was offered 200 Bitcoin stored on a small pen drive. Back then, it was just a gift, barely worth a nice lunch for four. Today, that small, friendly gift would be worth about $10 million. A few years later, one of our Weiss analysts explained the amazing future of Bitcoin to a relatively small group of our readers. If each of those readers had bought just one Bitcoin at that time, they could have made over $1.5 billion in profits collectively. And these are just a couple of the examples of how my team took an early interest in Bitcoin and how Bitcoin has created, or could have created, thousands of instant millionaires and even a few billionaires. But there's more. You see, that's when we embarked on a monumental new project to develop the world's first and only cryptocurrency, ratings. At that point in time, late 2017 and early 2018, investors all over the world were going absolutely nuts for Bitcoin. Crypto markets were in bubble land, grossly overpriced and extremely risky. So our new crypto ratings naturally reflected that. And when we issued our first ratings, not a single crypto got an A. Bitcoin got a mediocre rating. And most of the cryptos we rated got Ds and Es. So our message to investors was absolutely clear. Stay away or get the heck out. Bitcoin lovers around the world erupted in rage. They even mounted a cyber attack on our Weiss Ratings website. Fortunately for us, the attack failed. But unfortunately for Bitcoin owners, we were right. Bitcoin crashed, and investors who failed to heed our warnings saw their portfolios lose most of their value. Then, 1 year later, on December 12th, 2018, when the price of Bitcoin was about to hit rock bottom, that's when we announced to the world that it was finally time to start buying Bitcoin. Our announcement went viral. CoinIntel News broadcast it all over the internet, and they said, Weiss Ratings calls the bottom. Bitcoin News wrote, Weiss Ratings declares now best time to buy Bitcoin. Countless blogs and websites picked it up too. And sure enough, 3 days later, Bitcoin hit rock bottom. And that was the end of the crypto bear market of 2018. So now, the crypto crowd doesn't hate us anymore. One crypto commentator wrote, Your transparent and unbiased ratings will bring light to the darkness and murky crypto world. Forbes, CNBC, Fortune, The Motley Fool, and many others told their readers about the importance of the Weiss crypto ratings. And crypto blogs all over the world have praised our Weiss ratings experts for their uncanny accuracy in pinpointing the best cryptos to buy and the right time to buy them. Now, the fast-growing world of decentralized finance is giving you a brand new opportunity. And I repeat, it's the biggest investment opportunity I've personally seen since I founded my research and ratings company a half-century ago. A world that has grown 100-fold just since 2020. A world that could grow another 400-fold and still represent no more than 10% of the global financial system. A world that has already generated by far the greatest gains of any sector, of any economy on the planet today. And it's still in its very, very early stages. So if you're ready to jump on this opportunity, arguably the largest we've seen since the birth of Bitcoin, here are the 5 steps I recommend right now. Your first step is to avoid our low-rated coins. We currently rate over 500 cryptocurrencies, and most of those get very bad grades. Don't touch them with a 10-foot pole, no matter what hype you may hear on the internet. Let me name 7, which are among the ones that many investors get sucked into right now. Algorand, Holo, Icon, OneChain, Skycoin, Kin, and Electroneum. Just by avoiding these kinds of low-rated cryptos, you cut your risk by a wide margin. Of course, with any investment, eliminating all risk is impossible, which is especially true for cryptocurrencies. And that's why it's so important to focus on the few cryptocurrencies that we recommend. Step 2, buy a stake in the great world computer I told you about. I'm talking about Ethereum, the absolutely essential building block of decentralized finance in every single rising market. Since Ethereum was first launched, it has always gone up roughly 3 times more than Bitcoin. And that was before DeFi even existed. So I can say with a high level of confidence today that in the current bull market, it should again go up at least 3 times more than Bitcoin. For every $10,000 that investors make in Bitcoin, your Ethereum has a very strong chance of making you a minimum of $30,000. But to help you truly benefit from this opportunity, I want to do more than just say, buy Ethereum. Anyone could do that. It's a no-brainer. I've got something far better for you. It's our free report, Turn Ethereum into Your Personal Cash Machine. In this easy-to-follow guidebook, you learn 3 very important things. First, you learn where to buy Ethereum. We name our top 2 picks among the highest-rated exchanges. If you don't already have an account, we give you simple instructions on how to open one almost immediately. And if you already have an account, we show you how to take advantage of all the money-making power it has to offer. Second, you learn when to take profits on your Ethereum. This is what 90% of investors get wrong. They either miss the opportunity to take profits entirely, or worse yet, they wind up selling only after it's too late, and then they miss even bigger opportunities when Ethereum surges up again. We give you simple guidelines to follow, plus we can send you follow-up guidance later when the time comes. More on this in a moment. And here's the big payoff. You learn how to use Ethereum to make instant double-digit yields. That's right. You can sit back, relax, and absolutely crush anything that other income investors make. That's why we call this guide, Turn Ethereum into Your Personal Cash Machine. In a moment, I'll tell you how you can download it instantly. Then all you have to do is follow our instructions, and you will not only have the opportunity to make at least 3 times more than other investors make with Bitcoin, you will also learn how you can earn yields that are 20, 25, even 30 times greater than you could make in a bank CD. That's step 2. Step 3 is to download our second free report, The Eyes and Ears of the World Computer. And remember, Ethereum is that giant world computer that anyone can share from anywhere in the world. But the Ethereum network itself lacks one thing, which we call the eyes and ears of the world computer. I'm talking about a specific cryptocurrency that connects the Ethereum network to the traditional financial world, that feeds the Ethereum blockchain with real-time data on current prices from all the financial markets of the world: New York, London, Frankfurt, Dubai, Hong Kong, Tokyo, even Sao Paulo, Johannesburg, and Sydney. In this free report, we name the crypto, we show you where and how to buy it, and we also tell you when the time will come to sell it. How much money could you make with this DeFi leader? Well, no one can predict the future with precision, but I can tell you precisely how much investors could have made so far. Let's go back to December 12, 2018, when we announced to the world the beginning of the current crypto bull market. If you had invested $10,000 in Bitcoin at that time, it could have grown to $186,623. Not bad, right? But if you had invested those same $10,000 in the eyes and ears of the world computer, you could have seen it grow to $1,747,415. And today, it shows every sign of continuing to rise at that pace. In a moment, I'll show you exactly how to instantly download your free report, The Eyes and Ears of the World Computer. But first, let's move on to Step 4. Go for one of the best profit opportunities of all by downloading your third free report, The Index Fund of Undiscovered Cryptos. No, this is not an index fund you can buy in the stock market, nor is it a cryptocurrency you can buy on a crypto exchange. Instead, it's a crypto that's undiscovered. Undiscovered in 2 ways. First, the only way you can buy this crypto today is with the backdoor method I told you about. That way you have the opportunity to buy it before it's listed on any major exchange and before nearly all other investors can buy. Better yet, that way you have the chance to make many times more than other investors could make. Just like you saw earlier, how you could have made 6 times more in synthetics and how you could have made 125 times more on Yearn.finance than other investors made. Second, this crypto gives you a stake in a diversified portfolio of cryptos that are themselves undiscovered. That's right. The crypto we name in this report is undiscovered. And it invests in cryptos that are undiscovered, giving you a huge head start with a diversified portfolio of up-and-coming cryptos that could collectively be among the next Bitcoins in terms of how much wealth they create for investors. I repeat, you cannot buy this high-powered crypto fund from any broker or on any established crypto exchanges. You can only buy it with the backdoor early bird buying method we are talking about here. This is the one crypto that could be among the biggest opportunities you have before you today. So what's the solution? How do you get your hands on this red-hot opportunity that most people cannot touch, that the overwhelming majority of investors don't even know exists? Easy. Just move on to step 5. Step 5 is the Weiss video tutorial series, How to Buy Undiscovered Cryptos Before Nearly All Other Investors. This is our series of 3 easy-to-follow videos that walk you through the steps, like 1, 2, 3. Look, I've bought undiscovered cryptos myself, and I can tell you from personal experience, if you try to do it without a specialized tutorial like ours, it could take you a long time to get set up. You might stumble from website to website. You might make an easily avoidable error that lands you in the wrong place. Or worse, you could wind up owning fake cryptos. That's right. For nearly every true crypto in the world today, there are often multiple fakes with the same name and symbol. But with our undiscovered crypto tutorial, it's easy and it's secure. We've recorded live trade examples right on your screen. We show you exactly where to go on the web, which buttons to press, and what simple precautions to take. So you can do it without any concerns about making a costly mistake. You can gain immediate access to the amazing world of undiscovered cryptos, and you can fling open the doors to go for the same kinds of profits you could have made with the undiscovered cryptos we've talked about today. The 55-fold gain investors could have made in synthetics by buying with the early bird backdoor method you learn in these tutorial videos. The 180-fold gain that could have been made buying another one of our favorites with the same early bird method. Not to mention the 1,250-fold gain investors could have made buying Yearn.finance, YFI, also with this same early bird method. Remember, even if you could make just 1/10 that gain, you'd still be looking at 125 times your money, or about 12,500% profits. Should you invest all your money in these cryptos? No, of course not. But with the profit potential they can provide, you don't have to invest all your money. All you have to do is put up a few $100s and still have the opportunity to make a real difference for yourself and your family.